Got Black Friday a week away. The survey shows people plan to spend a little bit more, and shoppers are also turning to online and things like contactless. What should we expect from consumer spending this holiday season?
Yeah, it is that time of the year, and what we're seeing is interesting information, both through the kind of quantitative metrics that we've traditionally tracked through Spending Pulse that looks at total retail sales activity in the U.S., and some more qualitative information that we've added for the first time this year, really to understand consumer attitudes towards spending as we head into the holidays. What we're seeing so far in the numbers is October is where we've seen the holiday spending begin a bit earlier this year than in years past. October's been a pretty good month. Retail sales up about 4.1% year on year for the month of October, although with quite a bit of difference in categories of where people are spending their money, spending much more on things related to the home, furniture and hardware and home furnishings, groceries, obviously less on things related to travel. But interestingly, when we hear consumers express their attitudes towards spending for the coming holiday season, we're hearing some pretty consistent themes. One is an aversion to handling cash. This is something that we saw arise in the early days of the pandemic, and it continues to be the case. 60% of consumers say they prefer not to use cash and intend to use less of it. We see a much greater adoption of contactless payments. And in fact, nearly 2/3 of consumers that we've surveyed said they plan to do more shopping this holiday season at merchants who accept contactless payments. And not surprisingly, we'll see ongoing strength in e-commerce and digital shopping. We saw in October 56% increase year on year in e-commerce shopping, and more than 80% of consumers say they intend to continue shopping heavily through e-commerce as we head into the holidays. One thing I will call out that's really interesting that we noted, if I could add one thing we saw that's not so much pandemic related, is consumers this year are expressing a desire to shop with their conscience. And we're hearing consumers say overwhelmingly 75% that they intend to shop more with small business in their local community to support those local businesses and to support minority owned and businesses owned by women. So that's an interesting social aspect to expected shopping behaviors this year.
Really interesting, especially on those digital trends. I do want to ask you about the Finicity deal that closed this week. So Mastercard bought the startup for about $1 billion. Visa announced a pretty similar deal to buy Plaid, which is a competitor to Finicity. How did your deal get through? Well, the Visa deal seems to be stuck in limbo still with the DOJ.
Well, we were very pleased earlier this week to share the news that we had received approval from the Department of Justice to proceed with that acquisition. And as you noted, we shared yesterday that we've since closed on the acquisition, and we're thrilled that Finicity is now officially part of the Mastercard family. We see Finicity as a really important development, I think, in the evolution of Mastercard and the role that we can play in the open banking phenomenon. You know, open banking in its essence is about empowering the consumer with his or her own financial data to use that data to get access to the kinds of products and services that they most desire, innovative, creative products to meet their needs. That may come from a fintech or a technology company. It may come from a more mainstream financial institution, but it's a pathway to enable things like greater access to credit for consumers, a pathway to enable people to do things like improve and enhance their credit scores, a pathway to getting access to financial management capabilities and tools, and one where we see a real opportunity for Mastercard to serve as a trusted intermediary in the exchange of that very important and sensitive data, much in the way we serve as a trusted intermediary in the payments ecosystem.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.